Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar panel today. We're really excited for you guys to be joining us. Today, I have with me Meighan Brodkey, Mike Martin, and Eric Dreshfield. So we're all really excited to be here with you guys today. We were all at Dreamforce this year, and as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, there was so much to see and so much to learn, and we are here to kind of share a little bit of our insights with you about what we discovered from Dreamforce, and if you didn't attend, what maybe key highlights that you should know from the event. We're going to start with a poll question, just really quick, to kind of see exactly what you guys, what your situation is in terms of if you attended or if you didn't get a chance this year. So if you can just go ahead and fill out the poll with your response. We'll give you guys a couple seconds. Okay, so these are the results of the poll in terms of who attended. It looks like about half of us did not get a chance to attend and the other half did, but kind of just want a review session. So we're really excited that you guys are joining us, and I hope that this gives you the insight that you guys wanted. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and begin. I'm going to go ahead and ask our panelists a few questions, and at the end, we'll open the Q&A up to the audience. You'll see that there's a Q&A box you can fill out, and you can send us your questions. And then at the end, I'll read through a few of them, and we'll have our panel respond. So to start with, our first question, for many of us, Dreamforce 2019 started off with the first kickoff with Mark Benioff. And this year, we were introduced to the Customer 360 Truth and New Einstein Skills, which offered an incredibly cohesive, personalized experience for every brand's customers. And so I want to hear from you guys, what takeaways you guys get from this session, and what, if any, features presented can you see your organization or your clients using in the future? I'm going to start with Meighan, if you want to lead us on this question.
Yeah, when it comes down to the Customer 360, I definitely see that being used by quite a few of our customers, and definitely across the ecosystem. That ability to have that one single place to look, and that one connected record, and that way across integrations and across clouds, and just a great way to bring everything together. There's just so much into it and so many different layers, and I know pieces are being rolled out, at different points in time, but just all of the clouds being brought together is just a great way, especially with the fact that, a lot of different customers and a lot of different partners have so many external integrations that, having all that unified view is going to be so big and such a huge change. Make things a lot easier.
Definitely. Eric, what about you? Have any thoughts on the 360?
Yeah, I think, for me, it almost seems like it's a little bit of a throwback to a few years ago, where the theme was connect with your customer in a whole new way, except it's taking it up a notch with this, with the 360, because it's integrating so much more and being able to bring in so much more data than just what's in your Salesforce org initially. I think it's going to provide a lot of benefit to lots and lots of companies, and their customers are going to feel very personalized and appreciated because of the ability for the companies to know everything there is to know about their customers.
Great. And Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I'm excited about what I see as an evolution of products. So, we've heard the term Customer 360 before. I think it was highlighted in the Connections keynote from this past. It really is an evolution and a collection of products. People ask what is Customer 360 Truth, and I see it as the C360 Data Manager, which allows for a universal Salesforce ID across all products. Identity, which has been around for a long time, providing a login experience for your customers, for your employees. 360 Audiences, which is a again, an evolution of a legacy exact target product. And then one thing that really resonates with me, and I hear from my customers every day, is privacy and data governance relating to both GDPR and CCPA, the California Consumer Protection Act. How is Salesforce compliant, not just on Salesforce Core, but across all the products. So excited to see kind of how it continues to evolve as these products really become available.
Great. Thanks, guys. So I'll move on to the next question. So I don't know about you guys, but the amount of incredible and super interesting sessions available was so overwhelming to me. It was my first time at Dreamforce, and I wanted to be about 10 places at once. Since every year we know we can't make it to every session, I wanted to take some time now to stop each of you and ask to discuss a couple of your favorite sessions. What was the session about? What about it stood out to you? Why did you choose to attend this session instead of another one? Did it answer questions or problems that you're currently facing today? Was it a new topic that you weren't familiar with? And what key points can you share with the audience that you found most interesting and most helpful that would help other admins and other devs who are experiencing maybe the same problems as you? And this time, I think I'll go ahead and start with Eric, if you want to lead us on this one.
Sure. So for me, Dreamforce is usually more about connecting with people rather than attending sessions. So I almost attended very few sessions. I mean, there were only 4 or 5 that I really hit during the whole week. And the ones that really resonate with me are those that are people sharing their personal story, their journey as to how they got into the ecosystem, the struggles they faced, the battles they had to overcome, and how they got to where they are today. And I think a lot of those stories, while we all come from very different backgrounds, what we all seem to discover is everyone out in the ecosystem and in the community is very eager and very willing to share their knowledge and share their expertise to help others grow and improve their own careers. So I spent a lot of time talking with people in the VetForce organization, with people from PepUpTech, and with several other organizations and groups of people that had to kind of make their own way initially, and then they're paving the way for others to gain traction and exposure to the ecosystem.
Is there a specific session that you attended that kind of addressed some of these problems with maybe like a case study or something? I know, for example, I went to one, I think it was AutoRabbit. They had Qantas talking about a case study about DevOps. I thought that was an incredible session. It was super informative. And such a big company such as Qantas Airlines, I mean, the kind of problems that they deal with is something that I think everybody kind of can face, especially when trying to become a little bit more agile and implement more DevOps. And I was just curious if there was one in particular that you saw that kind of really resonated with you in terms of kind of the key takeaways that you got from them.
So the one that I seem to be remembering the most was the personal story of Rachel Park. She was a certified admin. She got diagnosed with breast cancer, had a really long and hard struggle with breast cancer, lost all of her certifications, and then fought hard to come back, and has been awarded a golden hoodie a while back, and has really made a lot of great progress, and is out there now helping others grow and gain their skills in the ecosystem.
That's great. Yeah, I love those kinds of stories. They're very inspiring, especially in an event like Dreamforce. Meighan, what about you?
Yeah, just trying to figure out which one session. Sitting here and I was trying to rack through my brain. I saw a handful of great ones. There was building secure session I saw about building secure public communities, sessions on bots and working with Einstein and working with Sentiment, and just how cool that was, and the new next best action and all the pieces there. The community cloud roadmap, and finding out what's coming next, what's going on. And then also there were a few sessions that I took about lighting web components, Salesforce DX. The idea of trying to pick just one is my problem. I may have only, similar to Eric, I didn't get to go to a ton of sessions, but every session I saw was just phenomenal. The main theme for my sessions was working with community cloud and architecture, focused a lot on security. And then the community cloud roadmap, lots coming out with security, lots coming out with CMS, lots of great features there already that have been released. Salesforce announced CMS a couple of weeks before Dreamforce, and a lot of the awesome functionality there. So being able to build upon that. And then the idea of building a secure community and focusing on security and just how security is different across your community versus your internal org. And those items that you need to think about when doing your build, proper planning, the experience bundle API, and having smoother deployments within the community cloud, being able to break down your metadata into smaller pieces, having additional metadata that wasn't available to you. Currently, that's in a beta, and it's going to be going into GA, and I believe spring 20, they said. So lots of cool stuff available, and being able to hear about it and hear about how some of the people are using it currently. Personally, I'm one of those people that's still been stuck a bit on the old school force.com CLI when it came to my work. So working with DX is something I've been working on personally. So the sessions on DX were super helpful as well with helping me switch over and finding different things to, pique my interest as a reason why I should continue to keep working at my DX skills. Besides, it's awesome and it's where Salesforce is going. Finding those little things that help you break your old habits is always a great way to, move forward and get out of, what you're used to, is finding those easy wins for yourself. So yeah, lots of cool stuff out there for both developers, architects, and admins. Sorry.
Amazing. No, that was really great. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, Eric stole my answer. We didn't prepare ahead of time. So, I primarily hit Dreamforce for networking, catching up with friends, and obviously some business development type activities too. But, the ones I wanted to highlight were the BAM, or Be a Multiplier sessions, talking about how folks are sending the elevator back down and helping others enter the community. And then the Trailblazer stories that were highlighted in the Trailblazer Theater were pretty empowering. We've heard a lot of those on Twitter through the Trailblazer story hashtag, but those are cool to see in person. I do have in my back pocket the one session that I attended, which was the one session that I presented, which was a part of the Salesforce Labs App Exchange 15 free apps to get now. We highlighted 5 dashboard apps, 5 flow apps, and then I was able to talk about 5 innovative apps. They've got over 300 Salesforce Labs apps on the App Exchange now, and if you're not aware, they're all developed internally by Salesforce employees. And so I was able to highlight 5 of the 58 new Salesforce Labs apps from this year, from 2019 alone. Things like change management at login, allowing your users to see a message before logging in, tracker employee onboarding, putting gamification in as you engage your employees in their new roles, and then one that was near and dear to my heart, Einstein chatbot. We actually used it with a customer not too long ago, allowing the customer to capture leads when the service team is on off hours. So there's a ton of great content out there. Again, all of these sessions are recorded, so make sure you hit up the Salesforce Live site. And for those that did attend Dreamforce, make sure you access those recordings for stuff that's important for you.
Amazing. Great. So for the next question, I wanted to know, exploring the various campgrounds, it's also easy to get overwhelmed by so many solutions, and I think that a lot of the booths that you visit are very captivating. And I was wondering if there were any new solutions that you guys stumbled upon, or maybe old favorites that you stopped by to check in with, and that were interesting to you guys that you would like to share with the audience, maybe to have them jot down to kind of look into further, or anything along those lines. Mike, since we haven't started first with you, I'm going to make you go again.
Sure. Just from sheer design, the own backup booth in the main expo hall in South was pretty impressive. It was a carnival theme. They had bagels in the morning, ice cream all afternoon. It looked like you walked into a carnival. It was pretty cool. I think you guys there at Infosys Panaya were right next door, so probably saw some of that. Honestly, though, I spent quite a bit of time with the Trailhead team, and excited by the inclusion of AWS content on Trailhead, as well as the Trailhead Go mobile app. I know it's only iOS now, but Android is coming. Pretty cool to be able to wait in line for sessions and be on the street just doing Trailhead badges. So excited about those.
Awesome. Eric?
Yeah, I'm going to echo Mike's sentiment about Trailhead Go. That's pretty cool. I stumbled across a session where Reed Carlberg was talking about that and really enjoyed it. But from the expo hall and the campground perspective, there's always a couple of partners that I like to go visit just because I've been talking to them for what seems like forever. Panaya, Auto Rabbit, Speckit, even though they haven't been around very long, they've really made a lot of strides over the last couple of years since they're new to the ecosystem. And I try to visit with the people I know first, and then kind of wander through the expo and pick up little tidbits here and there about other companies that I may or may not have already known about. I think that's the biggest thing about Dreamforce is you don't really know what's out there until you just start wandering and see it. And that helps every admin and every developer expand their horizons and grow their own knowledge about what is possible. So then as they start working on new projects or working for new clients, depending on whatever their role is, they realize there's so much more that can be done with the ecosystem that can help customers out.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely agree. Meighan, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, so a lot of my life is spent working on deployments, repo management, making sure we have proper change control, CI/CD. So I spent a bunch of time hanging out with those people. There were a bunch of the deployment crew and deployment partners that were in the Trailhead area, which was very lucky for me to be so close to Trailhead while doing all the partner talking. So I got to spend some time. I got to, of course, see the Capado people. I swung by saw backup. I stopped and saw Prova, great for automated testing. And then, just Strong Point, great for change control. Spent some time chatting it up with them. I don't know whether or not they had a booth, but I spent a lot of time talking with them. And then, of course, heading over to the expo, I stopped and I chatted with you, of course, which was great. And, just walking around, there's so many people to talk to. And I found out a lot of great different apps that, I didn't even know about before. Even apps that I use every day that have some upgrades, like Dropbox has a new desktop app that lets you view all your files without opening the app. And you can see all your Visio files on a Mac now without having to open them and having to get a converter program. How fabulous. So, all sorts of stuff was out there. So I definitely spent my time walking around, socializing, but deployments for a huge part, automated testing, and then, going to see what options can I use when solutioning. So that involves a lot of just being forced to walk around the expo and be social. What a horrible life at Dreamforce. But yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Amazing. Great. And were there any announcements or news that you guys heard that particularly surprised you or inspired you? Meighan, I'll go back to you.
I think the item that I was most excited about for this Dreamforce was the Customer 360. The fact that there is so many different pieces and it is connecting so much is what's great. The fact that, there's so much coming out all the time is what's awesome. Being able to see that the community cloud has more, CMS is getting added to, bots are getting added to, Salesforce Maps, excited to see what their presence is going to be next year. And as everything keeps getting, bigger and better every year, every announcement just gets more and more exciting. And also Trailhead Go is a very exciting announcement. As an Android user personally, I am still waiting for my own app that I can download. But just remember, just because you don't have the actual Trailhead Go app as an Android user doesn't mean you can't do the questions on your phone when you log into Trailhead on the website. So, one of those things to keep in mind as well for those of us that aren't doing the iPhone thing. So yes. And we also still have iPads available for some of us, like me, because I was all up on that. And I'm like, I did it. I did a badge. I was so excited to get my little Astro. It was great. But yes, anyways.
Great. Mike, what about you? Anything particularly interesting or inspiring that you found during the event?
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in customer service orgs over my consulting career. I was excited to hear about Einstein Voice, Service Cloud Voice, and then specifically Einstein Call Coaching, both for sales and service in the call center. While these aren't, drastic new enhancements, they are pulling core features of customer service and sales call centers into the core platform, which I think is cool. Also excited by the Amazon and Apple partnerships. All of those have been announced in the past, but the expansion of those and highlighting of the Apple and Amazon relationships, I think was pretty cool.
Great, nice. And Eric?
So I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but Mike stole my thunder too. The Apple partnership expansion.
You guys are very in sync today.
We are, aren't we? The Apple partnership expansion, I think, is really pretty sweet. But coming from where I started my career in the ecosystem as a call center agent, everything around Einstein Voice for Service Cloud is really takes me back to where I started and makes me wonder how much better I could have been as a service agent had that stuff been around 10 years ago. So I'm really excited to see that expand and get more use.
Great. Awesome. Okay. And did you guys have a favorite keynote? Not including the first one, of course, which we all agree that the 360 was pretty incredible. But any other keynotes that you saw? If so, which one and why? I know we had a lot of incredible ones, including Obama. But if you guys want to share with me what your favorite one was, I'll go back to you, Mike.
Obama was definitely my favorite. I actually sat there and took notes most of the time because it was incredibly compelling. A couple of quotes that I pulled out: "Diversity is not charity. Your blind spots in your thinking and your attitude should be filled by different perspectives." I think that says a lot about leadership style, and also you have to be willing and able to have people smarter than you around the table. I've always thought that, especially I spent about 8 years at a large consulting company, and that was kind of our mantra. Everybody around you is smarter than you. Take advantage of that. Learn from them, and that will lift everyone up. So, really, really compelling conversation with President Obama.
Great, Eric. What about you?
So I almost hate to admit it, but the only keynote that I got into was the main keynote. The others I did not make it into. I really wanted to go see Obama's, but the line was too long and I was a little too far away to make it there early enough. Unfortunately, I can't share a whole lot of additional insight on this question.
No worries. Yeah, that line was nuts. I heard that people were waiting in line up to 3 hours before the keynote. I know not everybody got in, and it was a very, I guess, secret. They didn't broadcast it or anything. Nobody really knows what was said except for Mike, I guess, and maybe Meighan. Meighan, did you get a chance to go?
So I had a seat at Obama, but right beforehand, I actually was leading a Circles of Success session. So I was actually unable to make it to Obama. By the time I got out and I saw the crowd, I looked at it and I was like, no, I'm not going to try to go through all that. It was so packed and everybody was just all up on there. And I'm glad I did it because it turns out every single location was full. And the people downstairs were very shortly pointing that out to everyone that tried to walk into the building. So, you win some, you lose some. But there were a lot of great keynotes that happened, very similar to Eric. Sadly, I didn't get to make it to very many of them. But, major props to a very good friend of mine, Miranda, who got her golden hoodie at the developer keynote. So very, very exciting to see that happen. Very well deserved, very, very fantastic lady that deserves a hoodie, doing amazing things in the developer community. So just to be able to see that happen was, just one of those things to make you just so happy and to say, and it was awesome, and see her up there with her golden hoodie on. It's just so fabulous. So yeah.
Great. Mike, actually, I'm going to go back to you because I'm sure we're all wondering, and since you are the only person on this call probably who got a chance to go to the Obama speech, if you wanted to just give us a quick summary about what he said. Maybe I know you gave us a few little highlights about some really cool quotes that he said, but maybe if you can give us kind of the overall message that was there, or like what he was talking about. I hear that there was a lot of kind of joking around between him and Mark, and that it was kind of playful. I don't know if you have any kind of insights you want to give us about that keynote.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really it was an informal conversation, which was kind of cool. Clearly, Mark and President Obama had rapport. They'd met before, so it was very, very playful, very jokey. They were both giving each other a hard time for the first 10 or 15 minutes, which was kind of fun. The overall theme, he spent a lot of time talking about his foundation. Not super familiar with it personally, but it sounds like it's really focused on growing leaders globally. So, he mentioned when he was president, he would visit foreign countries and spend time with future leader councils and things like that. And so that was really kind of the overall theme around what does it take to develop good leaders? How do you identify them? What can you do in your communities to just kind of to lift everyone up? It really was a theme of reconciliation and unity versus a lot of the talk in the political world today is about division. So it was very positive. I mean, that's what you expect from Salesforce. But I really believe that they were intentional about talking about how to just make the world a better place to be.
Nice, very great. Well, I'm glad that you got a chance to go, so you could enlighten all of us a little bit about what it was about. Cool. Yeah. So it looks like we're running out of time, and I want to bring it over to the audience in a second. So just as a final wrap-up question, if you had to summarize your Dreamforce experience in 2 or 3 sentences, either about the themes that you experienced there, or about what you got from it, or anything at all, just your final thoughts. Then I would start with Eric. What did you think?
So I spent a fair amount of my time actually down at the career fair at Salesforce Tower one day. And I was talking to a lot of people who are very, very new to the ecosystem and seeing where they currently are and what their backgrounds are and why they're excited about joining the Salesforce ecosystem. And I think that just showed me once again how fast-paced this technology is and how much good it's going to do for society and companies overall. So I'm really excited for the future and to see what happens next. Looking forward to next year's Dreamforce already to see what the big announcements are, and hopefully being able to spend a little bit more time in keynotes and sessions next year.
Definitely. Great. Okay, Meighan, what about you?
Yeah, it was definitely a fantastic Dreamforce. I got a lot accomplished. I saw a lot of people. This was the very first Dreamforce that the Ohana Slack group got together, and I threw my very first Dreamforce party, and I learned what it's like trying to organize something during Dreamforce, which was quite the challenge. But getting to see everybody is kind of the whole point of Dreamforce after going so many times, and yes, there are great sessions and there are amazing keynotes, and there are always there's always so much to do, but it's all about the people for me. And so being able to connect with everyone, being able to say hi, being able to meet up, and also have some good learning, some good meals, and I'd be able to bring back some awesome information for my team and for the company as a whole. But yeah, and just also to be able to support so many of the different groups out there. I mean, the Merivis Street team was doing a great job, and they were getting so much out there. They got some great donations for Merivis, and being busy and being able to participate, I wasn't able to help them out as much as I'd hoped to, but so much to do at Dreamforce. You only get so much time. So, busy week.
For sure. Okay, and Mike?
Yeah, as I was thinking about this question, it really goes back to some advice I was given early in my career to always be learning. There's so much new that comes out every Dreamforce and then every release. The platform is incredibly broad and there's always new technology. So it's hard to stay up to date. Dreamforce is a great way to do that, but continue to learn and stay on top of what's coming throughout the year as well. So there's a ton of great content that's generated this week, but it's also available in perpetuity to refer back to. So don't stop learning.
that's definitely a good final message. I think it kind of really encompasses everything that we've kind of discussed today, and all the cool news and tools and experiences and relationships that we made along the way. I'm really thankful that you guys got a chance to join us on this panel and to share your experiences with us and the audience. For the audience, if you guys have any final questions for our panel, please go ahead and submit them now. And we will either get back to them now if you guys send them, or we'll get back to you after the webinar. Mike, Eric, Meighan, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. I learned a lot from you guys because, like I said, I didn't get to go to every session I would want to. And I think that after this panel, I have a lot of further things that I would like to look into, further apps, further solutions, more to read. We're always learning, even after Dreamforce. And yeah, looks like we have one question. So the question is, going back to 360 Truth, as a consultant, how do you recommend talking to what features are already incorporated, GA, what is coming, and how you speak to the journey customers should expect to take while taking advantage of the vision? Any one of my panelists, do you guys have an answer for that? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I can take a stab at it. You know, I need to do a little bit more research myself into exactly what makes up these products, and I think that will come to light over the coming weeks and months as Salesforce starts to actually talk a little bit about this in their talk tracks. I think that connecting with solution engineers is typically my first route to do that at Salesforce. So if you're not connected with those types of folks, your partner manager can help you make some of those connections in the areas that you work with, because you know it is a conglomeration and collection of products, and it's I don't think it's a specific SKU that you'll be able to talk to a single AE about.
And to kind of add to that, I completely agree with you. And I think you need to figure out, you know, what is your roadmap, what is your plan, and what do you actually need, and how do these products fit into it? Like Mike said, talking with one of the SEs and talking with Salesforce is going to be a great way. And getting that background in education, there's only so much out now, but also only a few of the products are out right now. But that doesn't mean they don't have the information on the products that are coming. They're going to be able to give you some detail with that safe harbor so that you can start doing that high level planning of your roadmap to figure out, you know, what is it that you need, and you can start figuring out which customers do these apply to. And for some of, if you're in the consulting world, chances are some of your customers, if they're bigger customers, Salesforce has already kind of planned for some of them. The identity, the data manager, and then the data governance are the three that are already GA. And chances are that Salesforce is already going to plan for some of your customers about how they could possibly use these. Reach out, talk to their account executive, and see what's on the roadmap that they've been thinking about to see how you can work with your customers.
Cool. Eric, do you have anything to add, or we good there?
Nope, I think that covered it pretty well.
Okay, great. Looks like we have one last question. I think this is kind of a cool question to end with. What career advice would you guys give someone pursuing a Salesforce role?
So I'll take a stab at that one first.
Okay, go for it.
I'll do that one. So when I'm talking to people about their own personal journeys and their Salesforce careers, the first thing that I ask them is, what are you passionate about? Do you want to be an admin? Do you want to be a developer? Do you even know? Because sometimes people don't really know where they want to go. And then what I also then generally say is, sometimes you don't need to target a specific role, but you may find a company that you align well with, the company's mission, their passions, and their values. And so sometimes it's better to target a specific company and then work with that company to build a role that fits what you want to do.
Great advice.
To keep adding to that, yeah, do what makes you happy. You know, and you may not know what you want to do. I thought the definition of an architect was a developer back when I was first getting started, back before the pyramid, and there was that clear definition. But always be learning, you know, that keeps coming up throughout this call. It comes up throughout Dreamforce. It's going to come up throughout your entire Salesforce career. There's Trailhead, there's your local user group, there are community events. There are options online today outside of Trailhead to keep learning. There are programs like Merivis, Rad Women That Code. There's so many different options, Pep Up Tech, different ways that you can become involved where you can either sign up to learn, sign up to mentor. And that's how that learning, the ability is to keep doing your passion, to help somebody out with their question and to increase your knowledge that way, to dive into something together, to volunteer. All those different options are going to help you. A lot of people end up with that concept of, but you need experience for a junior job. What do I do? That's where you can, do that volunteer work, help out a friend with one of their projects, do a Trailhead, go beyond Trailhead and start playing around in your dev org and add to it. Getting in there, digging in, getting your hands dirty is where it's at. And it's getting to understand and learn. And once you're feeling comfortable, and once you can feel like you can tag team, once you feel like you can mentor somebody, it's that feeling of accomplishment that's going to make you feel like you can start moving up. And that confidence is what you need to be successful, because that means that you believe in what you know how to do. And it's going to help you so much in your career, along with the volunteering, your user group, community events, and doing all the fun stuff too.
Amazing. Mike, any last things to contribute?
No, I just highlight, going to community groups, community conferences, take advantage of the resources around you.
Great. Okay, thank you guys so much. For the rest of our audience who's still with us, we will be sending the recorded version of this webinar, so don't worry about it. I know we threw a lot of words and terms and solutions and things around, so we'll send you the recorded version, and eventually we'll also transcribe it into a blog post, so you'll be able to see everything that everybody suggested by the end of the week. And thank you guys all for attending with us. Thank you, panelists, for joining us, and hope you guys have a good day. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.